Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode. Today I hope I'm finding you living from a dream perspective. If you're not living from a dream perspective, then it is my intention that in today's episode I give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. When I was 12 years old, I was standing on the shed roof, and I remember looking out over the cornfield, and they were my audience. There was a slight breeze, and they were just moving the leaves of the corn, which just sounded like an audience, either maybe applauding or just kind of making a little bit of noise in their chairs. And it was in the late summer, and it was probably in the late afternoon. And I remember thinking, there's gotta be a better way. And I'd like to say that had launched me into this personal development field, and I was this huge success right from the beginning, and I was a high school hero, and I was so smart, and I went to college when I was young, and I got my degree, and I did all these wonderful, great things. And now I'm 49 and a half, and I've got this empire of a building, and I have millions of dollars, and this great business, and this personal development, huge something, 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 something. And that's not the story of my life. The story of my life is, when I remember saying that to myself, we didn't have the technology. I didn't have Google at my fingertips. I couldn't YouTube videos. I didn't even have a bookstore that was regularly filled with personal development books that I could go off and buy. So I did the best I could with what I had. I moved my life forward with struggle. I pulled things intuitively because I do feel like I've always been intuitive. I just didn't always know what it was and who was really telling me. And I grew up in a Catholic environment, and so we didn't talk about stuff like that. And I was dealing with my own personal issues that trying to engage in my intuition was not part of my journey back then. So it wasn't until probably college, and I would say 94, 95, I picked up my very first personal development book. And it was What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And I'm a huge talk to myself person, always, all the time. It keeps me, it grounds me, but it also keeps my thoughts in order. Otherwise, I feel like they'll run amok. I get really good ideas, but it is a little bit chattery sometimes. And sometimes I do really relish in the quiet, and that's when my intuition comes through. But it wasn't until I was probably in, I bet, my late 20s, early 30s, that I really knew that I had a greater reason. I had a purpose on this planet. The fire was lit, and I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't. So I had a dream, and that was to help people. But I wanted to do it in this fun, engaging way. And I wasn't sure how to do that. And again, technology wasn't quite at my fingertips then even. I didn't even get a computer, I don't think, until like 97 or 97. I had a stupid computer that overheated all the time and crashed. And so obviously when you start with new computers, you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to fix things. And so it was a little bit frustrating. But once I realized that, and it was years even after that, 5 years in mid 2000s, when I really realized all the information that was at my fingertips, I absolutely sucked in to the personal development field, Googled everything, YouTubed everything, did research all the time. At this point, early 2010, I started a personal trainer. I became a personal trainer. I had a boot camp, so I had these classes. And a client would ask me a question about something, and I would Google the crap out of it. That's what I used to say. I'll go home and Google the crap out of it, and I would come up with an answer and a bunch of exercises, or certainly hours of research to be able to showcase to her when I came to class. My point to all of this is I have been on this learning journey that is just nothing shy of being a true personal development researcher. I have an entire library in my house, and organized, because I'm a Virgo, it is organized by category, from spiritual development to meditation to leadership to business. And of course, the fun books are down here. And then I have kids, so I have parenting, I have autism, books. I was a personal trainer, so I have exercise, I have nutrition books, and I have several of them, several. So I have my own library. When I see bookshelves on the side of the road, I pick them up because I'm pretty sure that I could paint that, clean it, and put it in my house somewhere, and I'm going to fill it with some books. That's how into books I am. But it's into research. And the research I do is not always for me. It's for you. Because I have a dream, but my dream is being fulfilled by me sitting in my office in the basement, looking out my slider window into my backyard, with my dog sleeping at my feet, talking to you, in hopes that my words can inspire you to action, that even indirectly, if you never meet me ever in your entire life, and you never talk to me, and you never sign up for a course, and you never take a class or do any coaching with me, or you never come to my community, and you're literally just listening to my voice, that it is my intention that I inspire you to make those changes in your life that help you to grow on your spiritual journey. And it is only in these last probably 10 years or so that it has come to my attention what my journey really is, what my purpose, what my dream is. And that is to provide a safe environment for women to be themselves, and then for me to give them tools and techniques to practice so that they can become empowered in their lives. They can deepen their connection. They can improve their parenting skills. They can get their body in shape and stronger and more flexible. They can walk their spiritual journey. They can learn about meditation so they can bring deeper connections and healing into their lives, no matter what that is. I was at work the other day, and this woman asked me, as we're having this conversation, and she has kids, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I used to teach these parenting classes, and I used to teach this workshop from Stage about parenting and building your relationships and deepening your bond with your kids, thus creating this wonderful, beautiful family unit. And she's like, and then we were talking about what I do now. And I'm like, well, I teach meditation, I teach about the chakras, and I teach about the law of attraction and really just techniques to empower yourselves. And then she was like, and you're also the one who redid the gift store. And I was, yeah, I said I did a lot of retail, and I used to work for Nike, and I used to work merchandising, and so I know kind of how to organize and merchandise, space. And then she said, and I saw your pictures that you took on the Facebook page. And I said, yeah, I said I used to work as an insurance appraiser for high dollar homes, and so I would go into these homes and I would take pictures for my report, but also for the insurance copy, or for the insurance file. And she's like, so you've kind of done everything. And I said, yeah, I've been here for 49 years. I've had 37 different jobs, all of which have honed my skills as this individual. I said, so all I love to do is teach. And I'm sure some people are like, she's egotistical and she knows too much and she's cocky and she's whatever. And I'm like, I may or may not act as any of those things anymore, but I do know a lot. And the reason I know a lot is because I love the variety of life. And I love how much I learn about something and I think I know something only to read a different book and learn something new. And it just keeps putting me in this curious space of what else is there? What else do I need to know? And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing, is to put your ego aside and ask yourself, in whatever area you're struggling in, what is it that I need to know? What else is there? Because we learn the first half of the alphabet, and we think that's it. That's the alphabet. I can read now, I can write. And then you learn the last 13 letters. And you're like, whoa, there's more. And then you learn how to put those letters together. And then you learn how to write those letters. And then you learn how to write them in a different language, or in cursive, or on a computer. And it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. And you just keep expanding and expanding. And right now, I'm having some difficulty trying to figure out how I just want to share and share and share and teach and tell. But I think what is really important is I can share these tools, but then it's important for me to stand back and allow the people in my life to just make the mistakes. Just figure it out. I had to figure it out. And if you need some help, I'm right here to give you a couple of pointers, or to kind of maybe give you a perspective or a couple of things to try and just see what fits. Because just because one person has these techniques that worked for them doesn't mean that those techniques will work for you, which is why on my podcast I give lots of different examples. Here's 3 different ways to practice meditation, or here's 5 different things you can do to release some stress in your life. Maybe one of those things is good. You go to a tool shop and you only buy a hammer because that's what you need currently. I don't need a screwdriver in this moment, but when I do need a screwdriver, I now know I can come back and get a screwdriver. That's all I'm doing as well. I have lots of different tools in my tool pouch and in my toolbox. And I love to share because I love to just give those little nuggets of inspiration. But at the same time, I love to provide space for you to be you, for you to show up in this world and to be authentic and to be safe in expressing whatever you want to express about any topic. And we talk about all kinds of topics, like in our Lady Rising group, in our community of women, where we support each other. And I just love that I can hear what these women are saying, that it's because of this group they're able to leave abusive relationships, or it's because of this group that they're able to shed some of their anger and to really move closer to those they love. And because of this group, their parenting is getting better. Because of this group, their anger has subsided and they're choosing more patient, kind words. And because of this group, they're starting businesses, or they're leaving certain careers that just are not a fit for them, but they're having the courage to do that. So I have a dream, and I am living that dream, and it is starting to become clearer and clearer, and we're starting to pick up more and more momentum. So I ask you, what is your dream? If you were to say to yourself, there's got to be a better way, what is it that you would be doing? What would you be sharing about your life? What story do you have to tell that would inspire somebody else on their journey? If I was traveling from New York to LA on a train, and I get there and I go through the whole entire journey, and let's say it takes me 6 weeks to do this journey. For whatever reason, it takes me 6 weeks. And I'm in LA, the journey is complete. But there were some challenges, there were some obstacles, just like any journey, like any quest. And my friend from New York calls me on the phone and says, "So you made it?" And I say, "Yeah, I did." What do you think are the next set of words that are going to come out of my mouth? I'm going to warn her about any of the challenges, any of the obstacles that I faced. Okay, so be careful. When you go through Colorado, it's very hilly. So hang on to your water when it's sitting on the table, because we went up this hill and my water dumped right in my lap, right? So, or beware of the bandits that are in Texas, okay? I'm going to warn her. I'm going to say, don't forget to sit on the south side of the train when you're going through Tennessee, because the sunrise is so magnificent. I'm going to share the successes. I'm going to share the struggles. I'm going to warn her of any of the challenges that came up. Instead of saying, hey, just have a good time. It took me 6 weeks. Hope you do it shorter. I would do it again, or maybe not, or take a different train, whatever. But instead, I'm going to do those things. But why would I do that? Because I want to warn her so she doesn't have to go through the same struggles. I'm going to share with her the things that were so amazing because I want her to have the same joy. Because I think deep down, we want our other fellow humans and our other fellow women to lessen their struggle and have more joy. Like, I would go through that journey for you. I would go through that for you. I did. I adopted a teenage boy. I would give you the challenges and the warnings and also the joy about the whole experience. I have raised my partner's kids. And together, we have raised these 2 beautiful boys, one who has autism. So if you have a son who has autism, I might give you some pointers and some things that we have done in our household that has worked wonderfully for both of them. So what do I do? I share my story. I share my success with you. I share my struggles so you don't have to struggle. That's kind of what we do, isn't it? That's my dream. So what's yours? Do you have a story? Maybe you are currently drowning in your relationship that you're like, Jen, I appreciate you trying to tackle my story today, but you know what? I am so up to my eyeballs in parenting or my business or my money or my relationship. I can't think about helping anybody else. And I will say, just put this little seed in your worry garden that says, you know what? I'm going to go through this struggle because I'm going to help inspire somebody else on the other side. Does that motivate you? Does that motivate you to find a way through this muck? Does it motivate you just a little bit that on the outside of this quest that you are currently in, you will be able to help somebody else? Because no matter what quest I've been on in my life, of all of these different things that I have gone through, as a woman, as a lesbian, as a mother, as a daughter, what else am I? A business owner, as an employee, I have gone through these different challenges and these struggles. And where have I gone? I go to books, courses, blogs, videos, whatever, listening to other people's stories, other people's challenges. I Google the crap out of everything. And collectively, I am pulling in stories of struggle and success from other people. I have 3 giant bookshelves in this room that I'm in, filled top to bottom, left to right, of books, all of which are stories. Some are fictional, some aren't. But all give me just a little more to the journey, a little piece for the next mile. And I'm just asking you, if you think that you're alone in this, if you think that in this struggle, you are never going to be anything more than you are right now, let me tell you, there is somebody who's about to start their journey in the same direction that you're going on. They are about to board their train in New York and head to LA. What would you tell them? What would you warn them about? What would you encourage them to do on this journey so they could find joy? What is one aspect of your life that you are struggling with right now that you could share with them that's also going to motivate you? So I have a dream and I have a purpose. And I know you do here. You do. On this planet, there is no doubt in my mind that you have a purpose on this planet simply because you're here. You're on this planet. You're listening to this podcast still. You have a purpose. You decide what the purpose is. You decide when you get on the train, what direction you're going to go in. I decided I'm going to tackle the personal development field. First, it was the fitness field. Then that moved in all different directions. Then once I was a personal trainer and I had this boot camp, then it turned into life coaching. I felt like these women really needed this motivation. They needed something more about building the relationship with themselves. So I went down the life coaching path. Then I felt like there's more power in learning about spirituality. So I went down the energy working path. And I loved teaching, so I went down the public speaking path. And then I wanted to create a passive income. So then I went and built courses, videos, podcasts, audio programs, meditations. Then I said, I really want to work with people. So I built communities. I did live workshops. I did women's retreats. I did everything I could at every turn to satisfy that purpose. And every step of the way, I learned something more about myself, about what I was doing, and about my purpose on this planet. So what can you do? Where are you right now in your life that you can say, okay, I'm struggling really, really hard with this one thing right here. What can I do to help me get through this struggle? What else is out there for me to learn? What else do I need to know? Do that. It's not them. The them is a reflection of you. It always comes back to you. You are faced with a problem. That means there is something for you to learn. There is something for you to open up inside yourself, to learn more about yourself and to learn more of how to clear that energy so you can deepen your connections with the people that you're working with. And if it's parenting, if it's your spouse, if it's your work, if it's money, if it's your weight, all of these things boil down to one thing, and that's relationships. Is learning, what else do I have to learn? What else do I need to know to deepen this relationship? and I'm going to inspire somebody with a post, with a blog, with a video, with a song, with a painting, with a community from stage, with a book, whatever it is you choose, that format. Maybe it's just you telling a cashier. You did retail your whole entire life and then you started a business and you finally made 10 grand in your first month. And now there's a cashier who's struggling and you were a cashier before you were a waitress, before you were a janitor. And you're going to tell her to keep going because you were in her shoes not that long ago. You are going to raise your daughters. You're going to help your husband or your wife. You're going to release the old job that doesn't work, and you're going to go out there and you're going to tell other employees to keep looking for their dream job or create their dream business. So stand back far enough, look at your own life, tell yourself, you know what? I am going to motivate somebody else, and I am going to get through this bullshit that I'm dealing with right now by learning more about myself and learning more about this struggle and this challenge. And in the process, not only am I going to deepen my relationship with myself and deepen my relationship with others, but I'm going to inspire someone. And that's all we need, is to go through our lives to inspire others. If you liked this episode, please share this with 3 of your friends. And if you like this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you're looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider joining one of my communities. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and empowerment. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics just as like today's episode. We also have an online store where we can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.